Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Root Beer Library, where we wear the frothy stash. Okay, Root Beer Library. Some of you are like, really, Matt? Really? By the way, my name is Matt. You may know who Gary Vee is, or Gary Vaynerchuk, and yes, I am wearing his empathy t-shirt. So, I don't want to say I'm taking this idea from Gary. He kind of put it out there a year ago, and I'm just taking hold of the idea that no one else has grabbed a hold of. So, if you don't know who Gary Vee is, I highly recommend that you look him up. If you're doing something on your own, a side hustle or a side thing, kind of like what this is, definitely you're going to be able to glean some great information from him. He is just all about free content. He basically gives you how to do it for free. Taking this idea that he threw out a year ago, I kept watching to see if anybody else was going to do it. No one did it, and I said, what the heck? Let's run with it. He started a thing called Wine Library TV, where he would grab a couple wines from the store and drink them and tell you what he thought of them. So that's what we're going to be doing on this channel. I'm going to be grabbing beer from other, not beer, but root beer from other stores, because I don't have a store to walk out and grab root beer from. But I'm going to get it from other stores. I'm going to source it from other stores. And actually the root beer store, which I'm going to try and get root beers from, they actually have a sheet which we're going to go off of. There's 365 root beers on this sheet. We're going to start with 2 of them today, and we're going to work through all of this over the next year and go from there. Find out, and then of course there's additional root beers, there's cream sodas, all of that stuff. We'll work through it over the next few years if you hang with me. With that said, don't forget to like and share. I need it. It's episode 1. I got 0 followers at this point, so hopefully you'll be one. Again, with that said, so Gary basically kind of went out and just did this. Just set it up and started talking about stuff, and over time it got better, and hopefully this will get better, and we'll take it from there. So that's what we're about. We're tasting root beer. I'm going to give you my opinion about root beer, how I drink root beer, what I think of particular root beers, and other sodas. We'll do some. We're going to do some road trips and go see where root beers are made. We're going to go visit an A&W. There isn't one within any distance of me. It's quite a bit of a drive. I've already got that in my head as something we're going to do. We're going to take a drive together and go visit an A&W and actually have an A&W meal and drink root beer for sure. So, why root beer? Okay. I'm not a huge beer guy. That would be one. I'm not a huge wine guy, even though I really do like a nice Shiraz. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. That's how I was taught to say it. I do like a nice red, deep wine. I'm not a huge white guy, but I do like some. There's my wine list for you. Spirits. I didn't think I would sit here and drink a bunch of spirits. That would look funny. And smoking crack, probably not going to go over well on camera. So I thought I would do root beer. So, again, Gary threw out a thing about a year ago. He tasted root beer, and apparently he really likes root beer, and he threw it out there. Why doesn't someone do a root beer tasting channel or a review channel on root beer? And I've kind of been percolating this idea and just said, what the hell, let's go with it. So literally 2 days ago I said, I'm going to do this. I created a funky logo, which you'll see there, and I got the URL. That was key for me to make sure that I had that. And here we are in episode 1. So there you go. Episode 1, let's get into it. So what do we got today? We got Virgil's, which is kind of a classic around these parts. I am in Southern California, so we got Virgil's. And we have something I've never heard of called Natural Brew. So we're going to taste some Natural Brew. We're going to taste some Virgil's, and I'll give you guys my opinion on these, and we'll go from there. First though, you got to have the right drinking apparatus. Yes, you could drink from the bottle, and there's nothing wrong with drinking from the bottle, but I think like with a red wine or a fine drink, it needs a little breath, it needs some air to get into it. So I like to drink out of a particular mug. I have 2 that are my favorite mugs. One is my Cheers Boston mug. It's open mouth, big, wide. Get stuff in, get that frothiness. Really good with ice cream as well. So that's one of my favorite mugs to drink out of. And then my other favorite mug comes from the 80s. And it is my Kansas City Chiefs mug. I got this back in the 80s. I've been a Chiefs fan for quite some time now. I don't live in Kansas City, never been to Kansas City. My mom does live in the southern part of Missouri, but somehow I became a big Chiefs fan, and honestly it was Christian Okoye, so shout out to my boy Christian Okoye who lives in LA now. He's not really my boy because I've never met him, but that's what I say anyway. But he was a big draw for me for the Chiefs, and yes, I went to high school with the likes of Junior Seau and other players that ended up on other teams. Graduated from Oceanside High. O-side, gotta throw that out there. I'm just a Chiefs fan, Chiefs mug. It's my second favorite mug to drink out of, depending on what I'm drinking, whether I have ice cream in it. All right, let's do Virgil's first. I've had this before, I actually like Virgil's. It's got a good flavor to it. Oh, crack that open there. Smell. I think with food and drink, smell is extremely, extremely important. You know, if you can't smell what you're drinking or eating, it just doesn't make it, it's just not as good. Man, it's got a nice spice, sweet smell to it. See, Virgil's, they do a lot of the natural type stuff. This does have 42 grams of sugar per 12 fluid ounces, so just keep that in mind when you're drinking your root beers. Where is my contents here? Guys, oh, here we go. So purified carbonated water, unbleached cane sugar, so if you gotta go with sugars, that's better. Caramelized unrefined cane sugar, citric acid, herbs, and spices. It's also gluten-free. Hey, gotta look for the good in something. I think we're gonna do Virgil's in the Boston, the Cheers Boston mug. I do want to give a shout out to my friend Victor. He picked this up for me when he was in Boston. I have not been to Boston all the times I've been on the East Coast. I like to pour mine kind of like that so I don't get too much of the foam, and then I'll kind of give it that chug so I get a little of the foam in there. If you had ice cream in there, it would just froth over. It's just awesome. But man, that smells really good. That's really good, guys. It's got a nice spice to it. I don't know what to call that spice, but man, it smells good. It's got a nice flavor. It's full. You know, you can taste the sugariness, but you get that root beer. We will do an episode with some roots from root beer, and we'll explain how that process goes. There's actually a place not too far from here that manufactures root beer, and we'll go up and see what they do. But man, I gotta tell you, that's really, really good. There's a little bit of an after flavor, kind of gets caught up in the gums. I don't know what to call it, but that's the only downside to Virgil's, is that little after flavor. But I think I normally do Virgil's with ice cream, and so that goes away because I got the ice cream with that as well. Man, just smells like root beer candy. Really, really enjoying that. We're going to set that aside because I would drink the whole thing, and I don't need 42 grams of sugar. We're going to take a look at Natural Brew. So again, this is one that I've never heard of. I picked this up at the local store actually this evening because it is nighttime when I'm doing this. Per the fact that I have a regular job and this is my side thing, my videos will be at night. Join me at night. We'll try and do some of these live, and that could be fun as well. But let's talk a little bit about the Natural Brew. I actually pulled up some information on them. And so Natural Brew, they were born in the summer of 1994, so 14 years old. Happy birthday, Natural Brew. It was specially formulated to meet the consumer's need for a quality crafted carbonated beverage. We make Natural Brew using techniques to bring out the robust flavor of all key ingredients. Unlike most other soft drink companies, Natural Brew is brewed to allow the ingredients to blend together, form a full, rich flavor free from any artificial additives or preservatives. So again, these root beers, well, at least these particular ones have been brewed. So and it's a process, and again, we'll dive into some of the different processes of how they manufacture root beer versus sodas, or how the root beers that are made just like a soda, like in a factory type thing, versus the handcrafted, or the ones that are a little bit more on the brewed side. And so the draft root beer, and of course Natural makes a few different flavors like ginger ale and cream soda, and again, we will get into those down the road, but right now we're sticking with our root beers. The draft beers were made from a complex recipe and combines vanilla, sarsaparilla, licorice root, birch, and a proprietary blend of other flavors. We'll see if I have any kind of palate I can pick up any of those other flavors. Let's find out. Let's check it out. So this is the 4-pack of the Natural Brew. We'll just pop this guy out here. From a packaging standpoint, of course, we've got the Virgils. It's a guy serving some root beer to some kids. Not sure. This one again is kind of It just says Natural Brew. Nothing exciting about the label, but I like the bottle size on this one. This to me is more, I don't know, just like it a little better. All right. Oh, this one is way spicier. Way spicier. And of course, 41 grams of sugar. Wow. Let's give that a little pour. Mike's probably too far away to pick that up, but that had a really nice sound. You know, that bubble, that just poppy bubbleness. It was really nice. Ingredients on this is sparkling filtered water, sugar, natural flavors, bourbon vanilla extract, licorice root, birch oil, wintergreen oil, caramel color, and phosphoric acid. It's not as natural as the Virgils. I'm okay with that. Wow, this has got a really spicy kind of get up smell. You can smell that licorice. Definitely smell that licorice. Vanilla, hint of that. No, I think I would catch that even though I didn't read it. The licorice you can definitely smell. And the, I can't tell the spices completely on that. Huh. Again, never had this before. I like it. It's a really nice root beer. It's not as root beery as the Virgils, and what I mean by that is the sugary pop. The Virgils really has that sugar kick when you drink it, and it smells like root beer candy. Almost has that root beer candy flavor. This has got a little bit more spice to it, and you can taste the licorice in here. I like that. I don't feel as much of the after taste as I did with the Virgils. This would be interesting with some ice cream in it. It could actually even go with maybe a mint, like the white mint would probably sit well with this particular one. Again, it's got a really nice smell. I'm going to have to get a spit cup like Gary had in his original videos, because if I'm drinking this much stuff, dude, I'm going to be like 800 pounds quick. So So expect there to be a spit cup in the next one, and that could be fun and exciting too to see spit splatter. Guys, I like this, I really do. I highly recommend actually both of these. These are good. I can't say anything overly negative except for the Virgil's kind of left a little bit of a bitter taste up in my gums. This one really didn't. It's not as sweet tasting. It doesn't have that root beer candy kick that the Virgil's had. Definitely more licorice. You get a little hint of that vanilla in there, and it smells a little more spicy. I don't know, wow. Virgil's just reminds me of root beer candy. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's really what I get from that. This is a little bit, I think, more complex with the spices and the flavors. This has got a little bit more on the natural side. So, all right, there you go. That's episode 1. Do me a favor, leave me some comments. Please be nice in the criticisms, but I like criticisms. It's going to help me to get better at what I'm doing. Let me know if there's something out there you would like for me to taste, or if a direction you'd like to see this go. But we will jump into episode 2 possibly tomorrow. I'm going to try and do these more, not necessarily daily, but maybe we can pop out 4 or 5 a week. We'll be doing them again late at night. We'll try and do some live. You guys can join me, ask questions, and again, please leave comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know how you're doing. It's all good. It's all about community and talking here. Don't forget to like and share. Ring the bell down below and you'll know when I post a new episode here. But again, thanks for watching episode 1. I'm Matt, and this has been Root Beer Library. Thanks. We'll catch you on the next one.